Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president of the Republic of Kenya, is in secret talks with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, the Wiper Party leader, over the 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta is also in talks with Fred Okengo Matiang'i, the former cabinet secretary for Interior, who was a close ally, or who is still close ally of the former president. And Uhuru Kenyatta is actually torn between picking or settling on Fred Matiang'i as the preferred presidential candidate in 2027, or choosing or picking on Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka as the presidential candidate. In this video, I want to reveal to you guys Uhuru Kenyatta's dilemma ahead of 2027 presidential elections, especially on the choice between Fred Matiang'i and Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. And again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to introduce you guys to LemFi. LemFi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money back to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered instantly into your Mpesa account, Airtel Money account, and of course, directly into your bank account in case you want it there. Ladies and gentlemen, you can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Let us now dive in. 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya is going to be a do or die for one man, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto humiliated Uhuru Kenyatta in 2022. And Uhuru Kenyatta is planning the mother of all revenge in 2027. Which means for Uhuru Kenyatta to successfully revenge against William Ruto, he must craft a winning formula. He must come up with a team that will definitely deliver. And just like I keep on telling you on this platform, William Ruto is also not a pushover. And William Ruto is also scheming. And so far, William Ruto has managed, in my view, to snatch Raila Odinga from Uhuru Kenyatta. For those who've been following the politics of the Republic of Kenya, and for those who have information about the happenings within the corridors of power, Raila Odinga was very close with Uhuru Kenyatta. But because I've always told you that in politics, we have only two constants. That is the interest and the betrayal. Clearly, the interest of William Ruto and those of Raila Odinga are now converging. And as we head towards 2027, I'll be keenly monitoring the moves of Raila Odinga should he win the AUC seat or whether he's going to lose. But Uhuru Kenyatta is facing serious dilemma. He has actually narrowed down his choice to two individuals, Kalonzo and Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Let me just take you through a bit of the politics down there. Initially, there were plans for Rigathi Gachagua to join hands with Uhuru Kenyatta, and I'm reliably informed that Uhuru Kenyatta has rejected anything to do with Rigathi Gachagua, because Uhuru Kenyatta believes that he can actually win the support of the mountain now, minus Rigathi Gachagua. And he also believes that his fallout with Rigathi Gachagua cannot be reconciled. Initially, Rigathi Gachagua's camp wanted a situation where they managed to win Uhuru Kenyatta's support, and then Uhuru Kenyatta will come with Azimio and pair Rigathi Gachagua with Kalonzo Musyoka, so that Kalonzo was going to be the presidential candidate. Rigathi Gachagua is retained as a running mate, but that is now likely not to happen. So in the mind of Uhuru Kenyatta, is now narrowing down to two individuals, Fred Matiang'i and Kalonzo Musyoka. And according to the plan, they are also planning to come up with something for the Bukusu. And that's where George Natembeya is coming in, either as a running mate or just a key player down there. But Uhuru Kenyatta is facing serious political dilemma over the choice between Kalonzo and Fred Matiang'i. Before I give you all those details, allow me to take this opportunity to also thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. A cup of coffee only goes for 200 bob, but you can do more. Ladies and gentlemen, the first dilemma Uhuru Kenyatta is facing over the choice between Kalonzo and Fred Matiang'i is that Kalonzo Musyoka must be on the ballot in 2027 to be assured of the Kamba support, because politics is a game of numbers. Arithmetically, Kalonzo Musyoka has the Kamba votes. So if you are to pair Kalonzo Musyoka and you give him the Mount Kenya votes from Ruto, and then Kalonzo Musyoka then gets a few votes from Azimio, the GNCs, then mathematically he can easily become the president. So that's the first dilemma. Kalonzo must be on the ballot. And assuming they agree that, okay, Kalonzo is not going to be on the ballot, he's going to be the running mate to Fred Matiang'i. Then in that scenario, the Kamba votes will not be assured. That is the biggest challenge Uhuru Kenyatta is currently facing. The Kamba votes. Because 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya will actually be determined in the mountain. How the mountain are going to vote and who they are likely to support. So if they were to support someone fully, either way it will work in favor of Ruto or still against William Ruto. So that Kamba votes is giving Uhuru Kenyatta serious political headache, because let's face it, if you are to take Nairobi and you pair, or you have just the Kamba votes and the Kikuyu votes or the Mount Kenya votes in Nairobi alone, they can do magic with those numbers. It means at the national level, if you now don't have Kalonzo as a presidential candidate, what is going to happen is that Fred Matiang'i will come with a Kisii, will get a bit of votes from the Luo nation. If he's a presidential candidate, he can get 40% or 50% of the Luo nation. Of course, the GNCs. But now it will complicate the equation for the mountain in Nairobi, because the Kamba votes will not be assured. So that's the first dilemma Uhuru Kenyatta is facing. The second dilemma Uhuru Kenyatta is facing is the GNCs and their interest. The truth of the matter is that the GNCs changed the political equation of the Republic of Kenya completely. Don't be cheated. Let nobody lie to you that the Gen Z demonstrations achieved nothing. They achieved a lot. In fact, the biggest casualty of the Gen Z protest is none other than Raila Odinga. In an ordinary circumstance, Raila Odinga would have been the biggest beneficiary of the Gen Z protest. But because politics is about interest and Raila Odinga decided to side with William Ruto, he has become now the casualty of the Gen Z protest. Kalonzo Musyoka has tried so hard to win the support of the Gen Zs by aligning his politics with the politics of the Gen Zs. But can he be assured of the support of the Gen Zs? Because if you've been studying the Gen Zs, their choices has always been there. But Kalonzo is not one of those choices. They've been talking of Omtata. Now they're talking of Jimmy Wanjigi. They've been talking of Fred Matiang'i. In fact, Fred Matiang'i's name was featuring at a very higher level. For me, that is something which should worry, in my view. Uhuru Kenyatta. And it's one of the biggest dilemma. He might decide to pick Kalonzo, but he might not be assured of the Gen Z support. If you were to pick Fred Matiang'i, he might be assured of the Gen Z support, but the Kamba votes. Number 3 is the 2027 game of numbers. You know, politics is a game of numbers, whether real or perceived. Which means before you even start campaigning, you must sit down and strategize. How am I going to get the numbers? In fact, in the last election, that is where Raila Odinga missed the point. Because Raila Odinga had the numbers, but he failed to really figure out how to get the numbers from the mountain. He underrated the influence of Ruto in the mountain. Now, let us look at numbers. If Fred Matiang'i were to run as a presidential candidate, and Ruto, of course, the mountain might vote for him, which is good. The Kisii nation will vote for him. The Luo nation, I'm sure, if Fred Matiang'i were to be on the ballot, and Raila Odinga is not on the ballot, they might vote for him. But he might not be assured of the Luo nation. He might not be assured of the Kamba nation, of the coastal region. Of course, Fred Matiang'i has never been part of ODM, so he cannot really lay claim on ODM support base. At least for Kalonzo Musyoka, he's been part of Azimio, so he can use the Azimio platform to leverage. But now, Kalonzo running, he will get the Kikuyu votes, he will get the Kamba votes. Then what about the Luo nation? What about the Luo nation? If you were to ask me, if Kalonzo were to run and Matiang'i were to run in Luo land, Matiang'i would get more votes than Kalonzo. So crafting that winning formula is a challenge, because if Matiang'i were to be made the presidential candidate and then Kalonzo the running mate, again the Kambas, if you had to put Kalonzo the presidential candidate, then you pair him with Fred Matiang'i, you cannot be assured. In fact, the best running mate for Kalonzo Musyoka should actually come from the Luo nation. And I can assure you, because William Ruto normally is ahead of the game, that's why he picked Oparanya, because Oparanya was emerging as one of the potential running mate to Kalonzo Musyoka in 2027. And remember, Oparanya comes from Kakamega, the highest voting bloc. And it also has the influence on Busia. And because Mudavadi would not be a running mate, it was going to be easy for the Luo nation to vote. So crafting that winning formula is still giving Uhuru Kenyatta serious political headache. Then the other thing, which is my 4th point, is the credibility versus experience. When you talk of credibility, you'd pick Fred Matiang'i. When you talk of experience, you'll pick Kalonzo. So what should really inform the choice between the two? Political experience or the credibility of a candidate? Because, Fred Matiang'i is not a politician. He's a technocrat. Which means sometimes you might think a technocrat would deliver politically, just like they failed in Nairobi, the same. And of course, there is also number 5, which is loyalty versus betrayal. Uhuru Kenyatta is also figuring out, and he knows the politics of betrayal. What happened between him and Ruto? Kalonzo and Matiang'i, who can he trust? Who can not betray him? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are Uhuru Kenyatta, who would you pick between Fred Matiang'i and Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? Of course, if you've watched the video up to this stage, please let me know in the comment section by just writing the person who would pick, Kalonzo or Matiang'i, in the comment section. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.